On your mark, get set. Let's go.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Mister, will you please wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up?
Good morning, Kevin Durant. You should have never left California.
This bronsexual upset me in having to bring this teenage idiot from Wisconsin into a sports conversation. Are you really surprised that the Cowboys are giving up on Ezekiel Elliott?
Whoa. Hell no! Well, no one cares about baseball.
Bitch, are you for real?
The fabulous, fantastic Friday edition of Snowman in the Morning is catching with my man Wise Cole Johnson. So glad that you're with us, and I'm so glad you're here, Wise.
Good morning, brother.
Man. All right. Good morning to you, brother. All right. So, of course, you all know how Friday rolls. At the bottom of this hour, we will have Sam Shady, the Shady Sports Network. Top of hour number 2, we will have the manipulator, the owner, and the operator of BS3 Network. We are on it right now. Thank you for watching us on Roku TV.
BS3.
Ben Southern III. That's right. And the bottom of hour number 2, of course, we entered the boom shakalaka with the one, the only, the incomparable Chris Bass. So yes, if you have just joined us for the first time, you have picked a wonderful episode in which to sample this particular spectacular.
Yes, but even though we
now before we do
frequently go off the rails though. Seems like Friday is one of those.
No, we normally follow a format. I mean, we stick. Yes, yeah, we stick. We don't. Not even 5 minutes of the show. We already off the rails. No.
no, we haven't started.
Wise is correct.
So I want to address something. Hold on. I just want to address something.
Okay,
Rod,
where's yours, sir?
Rod, get out your feelings.
Oh Lord.
So okay, you want to retire from being the troll that you are. That's okay. Retire, buddy. Retire. Because we do like you. You're a cool guy. We've all hung out. We've done your show. You're a great guy. But yeah, the trolling, it's not cute anymore. Now just come in, be yourself, have a good time with us. And that's it. That's all I got to say. So Rod, get out your feelings, suck it up, and let's get it on. That's all.
So you mean tell me I have to retire this
I don't
night?
remember asking you a thing.
Yes.
Oh man, not now, man. Now I'm hating
not necessarily
from the troll role.
Not necessarily, because there's always someone who's gonna say something, and it's always that one.
Oh yeah, you're right. There will always be that one. But yes, I echo the same sentiments of Wise. Look, man, just enjoy the show, bro. And we get it, and we always got it. But yeah,
no, we
enjoy being amongst.
We enjoy the troll. We enjoy his troll. He's funny. Yes, he's a Bradyite and he's a LeBron. We understand that. We enjoy that, and and I've had chats with Rod away from the show, and Rod is a cool dude. Rod is a cool dude. We had a good time on his show. He's cool, but sometimes they get stale. You gotta come with something new.
Yeah, true.
Over here. We're all about innovative.
Yeah, true. I mean,
being original. Time to move on. So Rod, come with a new troll or something. I don't know, but
Yeah.
yeah, we know you love LeBron. We know you love that Bron joy juice all over you. We know that. We understand that. We accept that from you. All right, let's go.
Well, see, we'll see. My partner to be on. He had to say this. So, honor of one Mr. Rod West.
This Braun Session Confession is brought to you by Braun Joy Juice. Braun Joy Juice, the ultimate joy juice of Braun-sexuals worldwide. Made with 100% organic seal milk.
The fact that yesterday you came with and Rod West's favorite drink, I almost lost it. Oh my gosh. All right. A quick reset and a fast whip around. Now, I can simply do a whole show on this, but if we were going to do anything seriously sports related, of course, we have to start with Bill's safety, Damar Hamlin. And it was great to hear that he has shown significant improvement. And since yesterday's show, he actually opened his eyes. He actually communicated with the medical staff. And the very first words not out of his mouth, the very first words out of his communication, because he wrote it actually to the staff was, quote, "Did we win?"
Yeah, I love the doctor's
Close quote.
response. I love the doctor's response to it, though.
And the doctor's response was even better.
Yeah,
And the doctor's response was even better. Go ahead.
You're winning because
Yeah, the response was, yes, yeah, you winning the game of life. You just won the game of life. I was like, yes,
yes, he did. But that just goes to show you in perspective.
This man, and I mean,
just like life is crazy.
We can be all.
Is it me that's having issues? I just need to know if it's me is lagging so I can log back in and out.
Mm-hmm.
Chat? Anybody in the chat? Is that me?
I don't know, man. Yeah. Okay, interesting.
Okay, it's cool. All right.
The best part of sports.
I just wanted to make sure it wasn't me, chat.
We can be cynical and get. That's why we were.
All right, it's not me.
You know, and troll, but and all right.
Okay, so my brother's having technical difficulties at the moment.
Here.
Yes, you need to fix that, brother. There we go. All right, so while Cole fixes technicals, I can't even speak right now. While he fixes issues with his sound, what's going on, everybody? So as Cole was mentioning, yes, he DH3 is doing as well as he can do. I guess is time. It was. Thank God, man. Like the doctor said, yes, you are winning in the game of life because they had to resurrect the dude on the field. So God bless him. Hopefully we can listen. People rallied around this guy. It's amazing. Send me the link, guys. I'll hold it down with you. Oh, I do have that power, don't I? I think I do. Yeah, I do. All right, hold on. Let me copy this. Hi, Sam. Hold on. Let me go. Bear with me, everyone, while Cole fixes. I'm gonna bring Sam on the show. All right. All right, Sam. Set. There you go. Are you well now? How are you doing now?
Horrible.
I can now, at least now I can hear you.
Horrible. Doing horrible. Doggone connection.
It could be worse.
No, true. And yeah, it definitely could be. But yes, I figured it was on the connectivity side, and hopefully that has been alleviated. Stop drilling. All right. As I was saying, we can talk all about how, sports is fun and we try to escape from it. But unfortunately, sometimes with events such as what happened Monday night, you can't. And it reminds you how beautiful humanity is. And I think that, to me, is what sports is all about. And to know that before Monday night, most of the world, and I'm even most of the sports world, did not know who DeMar Hamlin was, what position he played, and what team he was on before that Monday night tilt is one thing. And then his name is mentioned everywhere after that. Just shows you the beauty of what sports is and the beauty of humanity in sports.
Listen, his GoFundMe
gosh.
raised, I think, something like $7 million.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
That's phenomenal. Oh my gosh.
And that just shows you that there are people out there. Listen, sports we joke around and we talk about how some of these athletes are overpaid and all that. But sports does bring people together.
Yeah.
And when something like that happens and you have millions of people watching, because let's be honest, the NFL is one of the most viewed programming here alone in the States.
Oh gosh, yeah. It's not even a question. I mean, people compared a game, not all three that played on Christmas, a game on Christmas versus all the slate of the NBA on Christmas Day. And one game in NFL was outviewed almost everything NBA. And that just tells you how big of an impact football has on the United States.
Yeah. It is the number one sport here. We're all guilty. We all love football. We all know the dangers of football.
Yeah.
Some of us have played it in high school and some little college, whatever. But we all know the dangers of the game. And
right.
That was just something that was unexpected. That was something we've used to people getting hit, breaking the neck or whatever.
Yeah.
But for him to go into cardiac arrest
on the
field, yes.
That's something we can account for. Never have. And kudos to everybody all around. I mean, the medical staffs of both the Bengals and the Bills, the Bills players, the Bengals players, Sean McDermott, Zach Taylor, the city of Cincinnati, and the crowd there.
Shout out to the Bengals organization, the whole city of Cincinnati,
and showing their heart.
Yeah, everybody, the whole city of Cincinnati, the Bengals organization. That it was just amazing, the support and what they did. They're like, Sean McDermott was like, I have to go be with my player. He's like, I can't coach this. I gotta go.
And I loved it.
And everybody should
know.
And
I love Zach not fighting. Said, we understand, bro. Go ahead.
Yep. And that's what it is, man.
Yeah.
This just shows you how precious life really is. A lot of us already know from experiences in our lives that life is very precious. Time is no one is guaranteed here tomorrow. So that's why I was like, Rod, if you want to be a troll, be a troll. Have a good time about it. I'm saying just don't be obnoxious of it. Just have a good time, and you never know. You never know if you're not gonna be here tomorrow. And just be yourself and enjoy your life.
Look, I can give you pointers on how to be a troll. So
we do.
I work in an area where basically everybody was a Phillies fan. And I'm an Astros fan, the lone Astros fan there. So, of course, when the Astros clinched Saturday, as soon as Monday morning came, I was an absolute troll to everybody working with me. But the thing is, they enjoyed it because they knew that I was just having fun, but I wasn't poking up, but I wasn't insulting them. And then when I knew it was getting too much, I'd stop. Like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
But then, but then when I knew the atmosphere was right for it, I hit them again. Hit again with an Astro Chef. It's fun to be a troll when it makes the mood lighter, it makes the mood better. Yeah, you learn when to do it and how to do it. That's a skill, bro. That's a skill. Yeah. Oh man, but yes, thank you, Lord, for the fact that Damar Hamlin is awake, he's alive, his family is seeing him. He can be able to see them and touch them. He can communicate. I am happy to hear that, man. And wow, now we can move forward. I am so happy to hear that. All right, so I think that will end the quick and only one topic whip around. As we normally do each and every Friday at this time of the show, which is at 8:30 in the morning Eastern on a Friday. The man who operates the Shady Sports Network, the one, the only Sam Shady.
Morning,
Good
fellas.
morning, sir. How are you?
Morning, Sam. Morning.
Doing well. I'm excited to be here. It's been a little bit.
Yeah, I know it's been. I
right.
haven't done the show in like a couple of weeks.
Yeah, exactly. How were your holidays?
Before we get into, it was good for me. I'm actually glad it's over, but it was good.
I got to dress up as Santa, so I took
I
pictures.
can definitely
you
second
enjoyed it.
your. I can second your sentiments, Cole.
Yeah. So you got dressed up as Santa. Okay.
Yeah, I had a great time.
Nice.
Got pictures of the grandkids, so it was good.
Nice. All right, Sam. So before we get into anything involving the rest of the NFL slate or even your beloved Eagles, your thoughts on Damar Hamlin?
Well, like you said, I'm tremendously excited to hear that he's not only like conscious and aware, but has full brain function from what we understand so far. That was a huge question. Anytime anybody's heart stops, you lose blood flow to your brain. So obviously that's not a good situation. And so far it's very encouraging to hear that he's aware of his surroundings, he's communicating. That's a really, really good sign. So I mean, the fact that he asked about if they won the game, like that was that touched my heart a little bit. Like how dedicated to the game he is. This man literally just died on the field, and he's more concerned about the outcome of the game when he woke up. But
right.
Yeah, all prayers to his family. I hope he continues to progress up this upward slope back to hopefully eventually, if he decides to, playing football again.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope it does get to that, but of course, yeah, if it's not in the cards, it's totally understandable.
Yeah, well, no, you can't. I don't know if it's smart to come back after something like this. I think these are just signs. This is a second chance. This is a second chance. Maybe I don't know. It just to me. I don't know how I can't put myself in his shoes. I just don't know how. I appreciate that I can appreciate that he woke up like, yo, did we win? That's something like somebody was saying like that's something like out of a movie, like something where the guy said he's in a serious accident. He's like, did we win the game still? Yeah.
Oh God, yeah. It almost. Well, of course, in a much lighter situation. Bill Laimbeer was knocked out. I think it was like 87 Eastern Conference Finals by Robert Parrish, and he was knocked out. They gave him some smelling salts. He revived himself, and the first words out of his mouth was, Oh, did he get kicked out of the game? I'm like, really, Lane Beer? Really?
Yeah, that's Bill Laimbeer for you. Yeah,
But that's Bill Lane Beer for you. Yeah, that is correct, man. All right. So the Philadelphia Eagles. Let's go here. They were riding high with a 13-1 record. Then they go to Arlington without Jalen Hurts. They lose to the Cowboys 40-34. Then they return home to play the Saints, which that should have been a slam dunk victory. But a pick six by Gardner Minshew in his own territory sealed the fate for the Eagles. They lose that game 20-10 to the Saints. And now they face a scenario where if they do not beat the rival Giants at home on Sunday, and if the 49ers or even the Cowboys win, either one of them will snatch home field advantage from them. What are your thoughts about how the Eagles have actually stumbled as of late without Jalen Hurts?
Well, I got to be honest. I'm slightly surprised to see the stumbles. I'm a firm believer in Gardner Minshew. I thought he was fully capable of taking over the position and leading the Eagles to at least one victory in one of these games. With that being said, I do believe that Hurts is going to be back for Week 18. I think they realize that this game is very crucial. We need that bye week prior to playing a playoff game because we're so injured across the board. Whether it's AJ Brown, who's been nursing injuries every week, or on the defense across the board, it's been hard for us to even keep a starting lineup together throughout the season. So I'm not entirely surprised to see the late season stumbles. I talked about it very early on in the season that our bye week was very early on, and I didn't like that. But we are where we are because we're a successful team and we have tremendous depth. So we're being tested right now. That's ultimately what it is. And, all the credit goes to Dallas for the victory that they got over us and, changing the playoff seeding the way they did. But I ultimately think that, when crunch time comes to it, we're going to see Hurts pull a rabbit out of the hat for lack of a better term. And we're going to get the victory in Week 18 over the Giants.
And of course, the Giants fan laughs. Go ahead, Wes.
So no, because yesterday we did the Playmakers matchup, and of course it was me and Cool, and Cool is very upset with the head coach.
Oh, highly upset.
He is. Oh my God, he's very upset with the head coach.
Yeah, he is not a Sirianni fan.
No, he's not a Sirianni fan at the moment. And he was screaming his praises early in the season, but now he's really upset. He's like he don't know what he's doing. He's like he just has so much faith in Gardner Minshew.
Yeah,
but we don't have nothing to play for, really.
Yeah,
there's no changing for us.
Yeah,
we're the 6th seed regardless.
Yeah, you win, you lose, you tie. You're in the 6th seed.
We're in the 6th seed regardless. So you posed this question to me earlier in the week.
Yeah, I did.
It was, do you start Barkley and Jones? And what was my answer to you?
You said, we need the reps, which I understand why. I understand why you say that. I mean, because most of this team is rather young, and none of them have actually tasted playoff success or even playoff action. So,
and to me, this is a playoff game because Philly needs to win this game.
And it has a playoff feel too, I would think, from the standpoint of you want to prove that you can go into the playoffs and say anybody. That we could beat anybody because we beat the team that basically ruled the NFC through all of this year.
Yeah.
So I think for that I think they would want to play it like a playoff game just to, like you said, get the reps.
I think they will start Barkley and Jones, and I think the Giants are going to come to play. Personally, this is a division game, and anytime, as much as I love Sam and Cool, but anytime you can stick it to a rival,
oh yeah,
you stick it. If you can stab them. Like if we can do it, if we can hurt them in the process of getting this victory, Okay, yeah, Dallas can help us themselves too. They can lose, and Philly
Yeah.
could be good.
And Philly could still win the NFCs, right?
Yes. So
Yeah.
it'll be a win-win if they both lose.
Spoken like a true devoted Giants fan. Sam, I had a in-depth conversation with our fellow brother, Cool McCain, and yeah, he basically was saying, yeah, I don't know what Ciardi was thinking. Hurts was ready to go in both the Cowboys and the Saints game. I understand him sitting out the Cowboys game, but he should have started the Saints game. And I basically said the opposite. I said, look, you should have started Hurts. I think you would have beaten them again in Arlington with Hurts there. I mean, heck, you came within like a few minutes of beating them with Minshew at quarterback. So I figured with Hurts, you would have won the game. And to me, you would have sewn up the number 1 seed, sewn up the NFC East, and then you wouldn't have to play another game outside of Lincoln Financial Field until the Super Bowl. And that was my thought process. What are your thoughts as to how the Eagles should have handled these last 2 weeks? If they should have handled the way they did, if there should have been any tweaks, whatever have you. How would you grade how the Eagles have handled this stretch run leading into the playoffs?
Well, I got to be honest. You took the words right out of my mouth because, quite honestly, if I'm Nick Sirianni, I start Jalen Hurts in that Dallas game. That game was crucial to us. If you go into the playoffs having defeated Dallas twice in the
Right.
regular season, in their house and our house, that's tremendous momentum. That's one of your rivals. That's one of your top competitors in the NFC next to San Francisco. And I think that was a really important game. I personally start Hurts in that game and then hoping we get the victory. Obviously, it looks poor if you still end up losing with Hurts at quarterback because then you risk injury and you still get a loss. But I would have assumed he would have been the difference. We had 4 turnovers in that game. 3 of them came from Minshew. Hurts has 7 in 14
Right.
games prior to that. So
Mm.
we're talking about a guy who's on average producing half a turnover a game. Yeah, there's no way that we lose to Dallas with Hurts in the game. We clinched the first seed. You shut Hurts down for the next 3 weeks. He comes back in the playoffs completely healthy, and we
Yeah.
have home field advantage. So I personally think that you hit the nail on the head there. I mean, not a very intelligent move by Sirianni and the staff. I get why they did it. I understand. You still have this situation where in week 18, you have a chance to win and you're still in the first seed. But I think they really expected to win one of these games with Minshew. And when that didn't materialize, it kind of threw their plan to the wind.
Yeah. And now they're they're looking at a situation where it's like, okay, we got to stave off one of possibly 3 teams to overtake us if we were to lose a game at home. And if we were to start Minshew, we more than likely would lose that game at home against another team that is definitely motivated to beat you because, oh, by the way, just barely over a month ago, you hung 48 points on them in their building.
Yeah, they did.
You know,
And we remember that. We remember that. So if we could come in and stick it to them, I have no problem with that.
Yeah,
I really don't.
Yeah.
Hey,
Exactly.
nothing personal.
No, that's a division rival. To me, you don't lay down. I mean, I could see benching Barkley, but I start Jones too. I 100% agree about your point about the reps. Jones is way too young. You don't bench him.
Yeah, most of that team is far too young. And the thing to me that I'm loving about the Giants, look, Brian Daboll, who to me is one of the coach of the year candidates, he's had the finger on the pulse of the team, and I think he realizes this team is young, and I think he's thinking of them similar to when he was the offensive coordinator for the Bills, and he saw this young team having to get their reps, having to take their lumps, and improving right before his very eyes. And I think he's taking that same tact with the Giants team because you'll be hard pressed to find any playoff experience there.
People be jumping on stats. They're always jumping on stats, whatever it is. And Daniel Jones has 15 touchdown passes, but my man has 5 interceptions.
And that has been, oh, I'm glad you mentioned that, Wise. Coming into this year, that was one of the biggest no-nos for Daniel
Danny
Jones.
Jones
He could
was-
not take care of the ball.
and he's completely turned that around.
And he has turned that around with a whole solid a year's performance.
And he's actually he set the Giants single season rushing record for a quarterback.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, look, the Giants are nothing to sneeze at. If you play, if you willing to, if you're willing to basically have a knockdown drag out with the Giants, you might risk losing the game. There isn't a question about that. With the Eagles, though, I mean, they're the type of team where they understand you got to put the foot on the neck early, and if you do that to a team like the Giants, you're good. But if you don't, get ready for a knockdown drag out, and you might not win that fight.
And I think the defensive has played so much better since that Philly game.
Yeah, I think they woke them up. I think
that Philly game hurt some prides.
Oh God, yeah, it had to.
So and so the last couple of weeks, you've seen how that even in the Minnesota game, they were.
Yeah, they started off slow, but down the stretch they played better, and they got and they actually put the team in position to possibly take that game in overtime and win it.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, any defense that gives up 200 yards on the ground in a game, oh yeah, especially when to me their best player is Dexter Lawrence, who mans the center of the defensive line. Oh yeah, you would take that personal.
Oh yeah. So he's been playing much. He's upset. The rookie has stepped up. He's come up. He's last few weeks. Kayvon Thibodeau's been the Snow Angel. All right, maybe he didn't. Okay, everybody wants to get on him about the Snow Angel.
The Snow Angel, I don't have a problem with.
Maybe when he realized he
on the sideline,
but he did put him to sleep.
No, yeah. Okay, granted.
Okay,
yes, he
back in the days.
okay,
listen. All right, we come from an era where dudes used to get clotheslined and get put to sleep, and we would love it. We was loving it. So, but now because concussion protocols and all this, but he did put him to sleep.
I'm not arguing that.
Let's be honest. Maybe he shouldn't have did it on TV.
That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. He could have done it in the locker room. I wouldn't have cared. But yeah, doing this on TV, no.
Yeah.
All right. So, all right, Sam. So you got the Eagles. They're playing the Giants Sunday. You believe they're going to start Hurts, which I think they should because they definitely need a lockdown that bye. Forget the game forget the NFC going through Philly to the Super Bowl. Yeah, that's important. But I think seeing the rash of injuries that your team has suffered in the last 3 or so weeks, and I'm not just talking about Hurts, I would think they need to have this bye. So if Hurts should start, I think he would. And he performs the way you think he's going to perform. Do you believe that the Eagles will come out of South Philly with an L and they'll get that bye?
Yes, I think the Eagles ultimately get the bye week. Like I said, I don't expect the Giants to lay down and give us the victory. I know the Eagles are going to need to come into this game to play, and that's why I think you start Hurts. You don't go into this game seeing what you just saw out of Minshew for 2 weeks and assume that you're going to beat the Giants because their defense is way too good for that. And I know that we got one over on them last time we faced them, but I don't expect that to happen again. Like Wise said, like you just said, there's egos that are hurt in that Giants building. They want to serve it up to the Eagles now that they get to face them again. So if they get a chance to play spoiler, that's probably going to play into what all of those guys want right now. So I don't expect anybody to come into that game with anything less than 110% effort on the Giants side of the game or the field. And I fully expect a tough game. But yes, I do expect the Eagles to ultimately win the game. I expect it to be a close game at that. But I do ultimately think that we take the first seed because of this victory.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It's going to be a whole lot closer than it was when it was in the middle of an answer. Wise, what do you think?
I from what Dable was pointing towards the end of the game of last week's game, he made it sound like they were going to play. I think the Giants are coming to play spoilers. Personally,
I do too.
I think they're like a lot of people are butthurt, man. That they whipped on us, man. It was like they whipped on us like a government mule. Like
Yes,
they
sir.
really beat us.
Yes, sir. Yes, it did.
They abused us at the point of attack. You think Dexter Lawrence doesn't want to smack somebody now?
That's what I'm saying. 200. I did not think that defensive front would give up 200 yards on the ground.
No, and they're gonna show you that no, we're not giving 200 yards on the ground again.
Right.
So
And
I expect the battle. I expect.
oh yeah, I think it's going to be a battle. Do I think the Giants will win it? If Minshew starts, I think they would. If
Minshew starts, so we winning.
Yeah, but I don't think it's going to be Minshew who starts. I think it's going to be Hurts. I think Philly would win it with Hurts, but it's not.
Philly needs this win.
Yes, but they're not going to execute as freely and as easily as they did when the game was in the Meadowlands. I don't see that at all.
No.
I see it's going to be a knockdown, drag out. No, going back to the old school NFC East battle, where it's just bloody and dirt-filled knuckles in the dirt, and may the better man win.
Listen,
and I think that's going to be good because I think it's going to be a good game. Actually,
I think Wink is in that defensive meeting. Like, yo, remember what they did to us last time? I know y'all remember what they did to us.
Mm-hmm.
I know that ass whipping is fresh in all y'all minds because it's fresh in mine.
Mm-hmm.
I have no doubt that defense is coming to play.
Yeah.
So if it is Jalen Hurts, be prepared.
Yeah. All right. Switching over to the AFC. So since we're not going to play the Bengals-Bills game,
which is understandable.
Yeah, from the circumstances, it's understandable.
Yes,
and it's not going to be due to either the Bills forfeiting the game or the league saying, "Okay, we'll take it and suspend it from where it is," and whatever the score is will be the final score, which would be the Bengals 7, Bills 3. They're basically saying the game just simply didn't count and didn't matter. On the table is a possible proposal that should the Bills or the Bengals or both advance to the AFC Championship game, it is a neutral site game. I will put you in the position of the Chiefs. Now, of course, if the Chiefs
win, fair to them.
That's what I'm saying. If the Chiefs go to Vegas and win, which more than likely I think they will, they would secure the number 1 seed. Now, do you think if you were the Chiefs, do you think it would be fair that you would win the number 1 seed, but if you were to face off against the Bengals or the Bills, that game more than likely, it's not in stone yet, but more than likely would be on a neutral site?
I personally think this is a pretty fair solution, because ultimately, if the Chiefs get the first seed, yes, they will play Buffalo on a neutral field, but they'll play everybody else on their home field. So that first seed is still a huge advantage. You still definitely want to get the first seed, regardless of the implications that it might have with the Buffalo game.
Yeah. And and then you have the Ravens, who, yes, they did lose their game Sunday night against the Steelers at home, but they possibly could have the ability to sweep the Bengals, have the same amount of wins as they do, yet will not win the NFC North. If you were the Ravens, how would you feel?
See, that's rough. That's definitely a rough situation, but I think given the circumstances, the Ravens are going to go ahead and understand what happened. I mean, this is an unprecedented event. It's never happened in the NFL before, so you kind of just have to work with it.
Yeah, and I think the NFL community as a fraternity and a brotherhood, I think they're actually starting to do that and do it well. Okay, so I will ask this last question before you go, sir. We have witnessed how the NFL has not valued players. Just take, for example, Tua Tagovailoa. Basically, the NFL and the NFLPA was saying that, we really aren't culpable in the concussions that he has suffered, and we don't even think he has suffered from some of them. And then you see them Monday night actually say, okay, we're going to value human life here. Do you believe that the NFL community, be it players, be it the head coaches, being the managers, being the Shield itself, being the owners, do you think that they have learned their lesson and they're going to turn a different corner and actually value the NFL player as more than a commodity?
Yeah, I personally think that that's a huge issue in the NFL right now. They can say whatever they want, but I feel the actions have spoken a lot louder than their words ever could this season. I mean, we saw it with Tua. He should have never been on the field in that Thursday night game, and to see the reaction in the Bills game. Now, I want to preface what I'm about to say by saying a lot of this is speculation because I
Of
do
course.
not have any facts in this, but to see how long it took before they ultimately made the decision to cancel the game, to me it looked like they were considering to continuing the game. And to me, when you saw that situation and you saw how the players reacted, the only decision was to stop
Cancel.
that game and not
No question.
continue play.
No
And
question.
to me, there should have been no delay. I mean, to me, the NFL should already have these things in place. If a
Hmm.
player is ever having to have CPR on the field, cut that feed. I don't care what
Yes.
you have to go to. I don't know. I don't care if you go to the 57th rerun of a Friends episode you've run 1,000 times. Make it happen.
Hmm.
The fans should have never seen the amount of the reaction to that injury they did. They never should have seen that. That is something that should have never been displayed on national television, but it was. And it was a huge failure by the NFL, and I'm shocked
Mm.
by what I saw. And I probably take a little bit more aggressive stance on this than most people, but I just think that with everything that happened this season, I've worked for companies where we've literally had to deal with people who are unresponsive and stuff like this. So you have protocols in place, and
Right.
to me, for the NFL not to already have that in the back of their mind, considering we've seen situations like this in the NFL in the past, it's just asinine to me. And again, that's probably a really aggressive way to look at it, but I personally I'm outraged.
I absolutely love every single syllable you uttered. I would not argue with any of it. And the reason being, I didn't see the game live. I was, spending time with the missus. And so I looked at, so no, I read up on what was happening. And before I went to bed, I wanted to see, the hit and the tackle that Hamlin put on T. Higgins, the wide receiver for the Bengals. And the thought process I had was when the live, I was looking at the feed as it was going live, obviously, as it was recording, it was live. When I saw that they locked with Hamlin and they saw him limp bodied fall to the turf, my visceral reaction was, oh no. That was immediate. And then probably about a minute later, of course, I'm in the media like you are, Sam. Like, of course, now Wise is and Brian and many of you all are out there. My thought then was, I hope the viewing audience did not see that. That was the first thought I had a minute into it. I was like, man, I hope the video audience didn't see it, because if they saw that, they'd be traumatized just like I was immediately when I saw Hamlin just fall limp to the ground. So, no, uh, I really believe that your aggressive stance should be the only stance the NFL should take. So, in fact, I respect you even more for for covering the sport than I already did, and that respect was huge to begin with for having that stance. So I thank you for that, and I agree with you that the NFL needs to treat these players these athletes as human beings, and I really believe if they do, we would avoid a lot of the stuff that has happened. And unfortunately, I did not want to have this happen to any player, but it was going to have to happen like this to jolt the NFL to understanding. Oh, so these guys aren't superheroes. These guys aren't bulletproof. No, they've never been. They've never been. So hopefully your words are taken to heart by the NFL, Sam.
I hope so too, because the next time there's a chance we see a player die on the field, and that's not right. I mean, at the end of
No.
the day, these owners treat these guys like they're a commodity, and they're not. They're an asset. They're at the end of the day, if you don't have the players, you don't have the game. So they need to
Right.
realize that, we all as fans saw that. We saw the disregard for a human life, and we watched the whole thing live. So the fact that we got to see as much as we did, like I said, was a complete and utter failure on the NFL's part. But it is what it is at this point. So I hope they learn from it, and I hope they ultimately correct the issues that we saw on Monday night.
Well, you echo those same. I echo those same sentiments, and thank you for expressing it the way you did. All right, sir. Tell the people where they can find you, other than here every Friday at 8:35 a.m. Eastern.
So right now I'm trying to do a big push on our website, shadysportsnetwork.com. Basically, right now we've got a couple of articles up, including one about the Philadelphia Eagles. Devontae Smith could potentially be in the top 20 Eagles receivers all time in terms of receiving yards by as early as the end of next season, his third year in the NFL. So just think about how unprecedented that is. But go ahead and check out the article. He's, nearing names like Irving Fryer, Harold Carmichael, Mike Quick, Deshaun Jackson. I mean, I'm talking about the greats in Eagles history. So definitely go check out shadysportsnetwork.com. We recently got merch launched, so if you have a couple extra bucks, it would be appreciated if you checked out that as well. And then one real quick piece of information I wanted to throw out there, just because you guys all know I'm a huge USFL fan and XFL fan. Channing Stribling of the Philadelphia Stars, who was selected by the XFL in the recent draft, has decided to re-sign with the USFL. He is now the 5th player who has said no to the XFL in terms of returning to the USFL.
Oh boy. Okay. That's news there. All right. Well, you will get that type of news and more from this wonderful resource right here. Sam Shady joining us as he always does every Friday on with his brand of football knowledge, whether it's NFL, CFL, XFL, USFL, USL, indoor football, any type of football. This man knows it and has probably forgotten more information than we could consume. Sam Shady, the Shady Sports Network, thank you so much. As always, we totally appreciate you.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. And I will talk to you guys next week.
All right, brother, and have a wonderful weekend. That is Sam Shady of Shady Sports Network, joining us as he does every single Friday. And it is our number 2 time. I think it is time for us to switch to the intro. Our number 2 begins right now.
Time for hour 2 of this spectacular. Ryan McCoffey now joins us this morning.
That's what you need to do to beat Josh Allen. You need to make him uncomfortable.
Hour 2, time for some Spivey notes. And here's Jay.
Well, I know he's only in his 3rd year, but they're just wasting Justin Herbert.
Hour 2,
the hardest working content creator I know, the playmaker.
Hey, LeBron James, the greatest scorer of all time. Hey.
Hour 2,
the one, the only Christopher Dietz.
They rewarded Ohio State for not playing, and they punished USC for playing.
Hour 2, Sam Shady.
Oh, man. It's been a roller coaster ride if you were a Philadelphia Stars fan.
Hour 2, that's Big Ben, the man in charge of the BS3 network.
And if I see Kurt 2 Chainz Cousins out.
Hour 2, Chris Bay's joining us.
Oh my God! Oh, this game! Oh, way to go, Sammy!
Hour 2, was
Oh man, I thought I missed it.
What in the all types of blue hell?
Time for hour 2 of this spectacular, and it starts right now.
Rolling along on this Friday edition of Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson, doing it solo. I am Cole Johnson. Wise had to step away for a minute. Hopefully, I'll be joined by Snowman real soon. But let's have a wonderful chat, shall we? All right. So before I throw it to Ben Sutter III, he normally joins us every Friday around now. Many of you may have seen comments from now ESPN analyst, former Ravens and Jets linebacker Bart Scott, who blamed, and I really do mean the word blamed, T. Higgins for giving the condition to Damar Hamlin simply because he described it as T. Higgins landing a not a kill shot, but landing a hard blow by lowering his helmet to connect with Hamlin. But I have looked at this play over and over again, and he kept dipping the shoulder. Now, Mr. Scott has been in this position where he has seen many practices, as have I, where wide receivers coaches will tell the wide receivers and ball carriers, finish the run. And if you have to lower your shoulder to connect, finish the run, make the tackler pay. That is what wide receivers coaches and offense coordinators and head coaches teach wide receivers and ball carriers. Finish the run, drive through the tackle. And that's what Higgins did. He didn't do anything wrong. And to me, in having anybody who is of the NFL fraternity to say, well, yeah, this guy talking about T. Higgins did something wrong is absolutely ridiculous. No. He did what he was taught, and he did it well. No. There is no blame that needs to be thrown anywhere. No blame at all. Football is a violent sport. I don't care what you tell me. Football is violent. And if you don't want to hear what I'm about to say, I'm sorry, you're going to hear it anyway. Football is a violent sport, and we love the violence. We love the physicality. There is something about seeing collisions that we enjoy, and I'm okay with that. It took me a while to be like, yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with seeing physicality, and I've done it. I actually put on the pads and got on the field and did it, both on offense and defense, on the lines. I wasn't a ball carrier. I was on the lines, defensive lineman, right guard. And there's a certain element of this is kind of cool to it. And the unfortunate part is, just like life, you never know when it's going to be your last opportunity to do whatever it is you love to do. It's that simple. That simple, that plain. Cannot say it any better. And now, to join us, as he always does every single Friday at 9:05 a.m., 8:05 Central, the man who is the manipulator, the owner, and the operator of the BS3 network, the man that we call BS3 or Ben Sudduth III. How you doing, sir?
Good morning. Good morning. How you doing? Happy Friday.
Doing good. Happy Friday to you, and Happy New Year to you as well, man.
Yes, sir. Happy New Year to you too.
All right. Well, I know you're an avid sports fan and you're an avid football fan. So before we get any takes off, your thoughts on Damar Hamlin?
Yeah, first off, I am thankful to God that he is awake, that he is communicating, and the progress is going in the right direction. I think, and it kind of to jump in on what you were just talking about, it's not right to put the blame on T. Higgins. That's a regular football play.
Mm-hmm.
I think eventually we'll know exactly what happened.
Right.
But it seems like it was it was kind of an impact that, was a freak accident that caused his heart to, maybe go get out of rhythm or something. So I just think it just kind of puts things in perspective. Like, what is really important? Is this football game important, or the playoffs important, or is Damar Hamlin's life important? And I felt like they, obviously during the actual game, they didn't know what to do and how to really navigate that. But I think they did well in just canceling that game not allowing them to continue to play until the players knew how their teammate was. So NFL is definitely not perfect. We obviously know there's going to be continuous injuries that are going to happen. That's a part of the game. But I think this one was so outside of the norm, nobody really knew how to handle.
Yeah, that's been so the third that you're hearing. He joins us every Friday. All right, so the NFL decides they like you just said they cancel the game altogether. And going forward, now that we can go forward, because it was great to now hear that DeMar actually communicated, although he didn't say it, but he wrote it, that he communicated a coherent thought, and not only a coherent thought, but he communicated a thought where you realize, okay, there was no brain damage suffered. The NFL is considering of course they outright canceled the game, but they're considering neutral site AFC Championship games should the Bills or the Bengals or both advance to the championship round. Now, of course, more than likely, if these seeds were to hold, the Bills and the Bengals wouldn't meet in the conference championship. They probably would meet in the divisional round. But your thoughts on if you were the Chiefs and you would win home field if, of course, you go to Vegas and win, and you would not be able to play against the Bills or the Bengals in Arrowhead, but at a neutral site.
I mean, if I was on that team, I would understand just based on the situation.
Mm-hmm.
If this was just the NFL wanted to change something, obviously that would be different. But just the circumstance of what happened to the player, and Adam Schefter was saying they didn't want to go back to that game. They just wanted to move on, which, I agree with that. So I think I don't see any problem with it. And this is football. I mean, at the end of the day, can you win on the road? Can you win in whatever circumstance it is? And I think that's going to be that's just going to be a test of this particular playoffs. There's always a different scenario that happens to go down. So I'm 100% okay with it. I did hear a scenario of making that game a tie, which I'm okay with that because obviously the game was suspended. They're not going to go back to it. That score, I don't think you can go based off the score. So I think I'm 100% okay with it. I think the players will be. If you feel like your team is better, you should be able to beat the team no matter where it is.
Yeah, I agree with that. And and you're speaking to the football player in me. That's how I would feel. It wouldn't matter where we play. I would feel as though we would have the squad that'd be better than the opponent. Yeah, I agree with that. And as you all can see, Wise at Hefe rejoins us on the show.
Yes.
All right. Now, switching gears to your beloved Cowboys. So now you saw the L. I'm sorry, let me do this correctly. My bad. Now, with the game at home that the Eagles had against the Saints, you saw that they took the and combined with the victory that you had against the Eagles on Christmas Eve, and of course you followed it up with a victory in Nashville. Now the Cowboys stand at the doorstep of possibly being NFC East champs should the Eagles lose again and the Cowboys beat the Commanders. Shout out to Major Teddy. What should the mindset be with the Cowboys? Should it be, okay, we should have the NFC East in mind, or should it be we need to go to Landover and just prove that we are the better team and we should just simply dominate against the Commanders?
The mindset needs to be you need to not only beat the Commanders, but definitely dominate. And you do need to have the NFC East in mind. Wow, how things have changed over the past couple of weeks. We got to take advantage of this opportunity. So I would say take care of business early. Don't get caught up in trying to keep it close. Don't get caught up into Oh wow, Sam Howell looks like a nice, good quarterback. No, forget that. Just get after Sam Howell. Take care of business. Take the starters out, hopefully in the early fourth quarter,
Mm-hmm.
and so that's what I'm hoping and expecting.
Yeah. Now, see, I could say this to you, and I could say to Victor, and I could say to Dees, because you all are, how can I put this in the wonderful way of saying it? You all are cowboy fan unicorns because you all actually have sense. You know, so
Yeah, don't be a Michael Irvin, okay? Don't be a Michael Irvin.
don't be a Michael Irvin. I agree with you, man. I really believe the Cowboys need to have just get momentum. Whether you're the number 1, number 2, or number 5 seed, just get momentum, positive momentum in the playoffs. And if you really do believe that you're that squad, it's like what you said a few minutes back. It doesn't matter if you are in AT&T Stadium or anywhere else. Show up on that field and prove that you're better. And for the Cowboys, most of the year, I believe they have done that. And I mean this in the most beautiful ways. They've done it to an arrogant fault. You know, it's as if it's like, okay, we have the game in hand in the middle of the game, and then they decide to get cute. And then when they get cute, they bite themselves in the butt. And of course, you don't have to think of any two games that I can basically paint the scenario, and it displays itself more beautifully than when they played in Jacksonville and when they played in Lambeau. What can the coaching staff do if the Cowboys were to get off to a 2-touchdown lead like they did in Lambeau and a 17-point lead like they did in Jacksonville, and still say we're going to stick with the run and beat this team into submission?
They need to have a billboard wherever they go on the team bus, on the inside of their visors, to just say "Finish the game." Period. Do not allow other teams to get back in the game because you don't want to do the run anymore. That's what helps us win. That's the game plan that has continued to work. Tony Pollard will probably be back. I believe Zeke obviously is going to be there. So it's no need to reinvent the wheel. This is football 101. Your team's a running team. You run the ball. You pass the ball when you need to pass it, or when you're in a pressure situation, or when you're in a 3rd and long, or whatever the scenario is. But I just need to finish the game. I think that is the thing I would be preaching if I was McCarthy. Same thing I would be telling Kellen Moore: don't get cute. It's not time to get cute. You can get cute when you're in the preseason. You can test out all you want to test out stuff. In the regular season, stick to the game plan, do what works. We got a prime opportunity right now, so take advantage of it.
Good. I agree with that, and I think that's where my issue with the Cowboys is, because if I saw that they were able to just simply put feet on necks, and they would get these leads, and then they would just simply finish off the team, like the teams that almost everybody seems to idolize, like the 92, 93, and 94 Cowboys, because when they did have those leads, they would continue to run the ball and be physical and just finish off teams that just bury them. All right, let me go from there and go to Mr. Prescott. So now people are saying that, well, he's making too many mistakes now in the pocket, which I somewhat agree and I somewhat don't agree. Do you believe in the criticism that Dak Prescott costs the Cowboys too much with throwing so much, or do you believe that the coaching staff puts him in those positions to mess up?
I think it's half and half, and I think actually you can split it up in 3, because sometimes the receivers are just plain not catching the ball. The ball can be right in between the numbers, and it bounces off your chest, i.e., the Jacksonville Jaguars running into the end zone with a pick 6. So the blame kind of goes around. I think the coaching staff, like we talked about, gets a little too cute and they want to get pass happy. But also, at what point do they call in a play and Dak says, "Okay, I don't think that's going to work," which he does audible out. He does change plays.
Mm-hmm.
So, at what point are we changing to the wrong play? Are we not knowing what would be the best option in that scenario? Because situational football is not our strong suit either, especially at the end of game situation hasn't been our strong suit also. So I think a big part of it is Dak being able to make the right decision. He's not the most accurate quarterback, so that's true as well. Sometimes it's going to be too high, or it bounces off the wide receiver's hand and it ends up being an interception. So the blame is really to go around. I don't think it's necessarily on Dak. I do agree with some of the criticism because you deserve some criticism. You are the starting quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. You're going to get it regardless. And I think he's definitely aware of that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, him, Kellen Moore, and then definitely got to be partly on the wide receivers too.
Mm. And I'm glad you focus on them because my thought is the same. You know, I really believe that, yeah, you could say the quarterback is making the wrong reads, but you also have to say these wide receivers are not helping their QB out. Well, I could continue talking with you, but I know you have to run. So tell people where they can find you, and we definitely will have you back talking about all things Cowboys going into the playoffs.
Yeah, definitely. So BS3 Network, all avenues of social media, BS3Network.com, BS3TV Live, where you can find this show, and Wise El Jefe, Stuck in My Mind, and Pop J and Wise, and Revelation. So all of the content right there. Download BS3 TV on Roku. I appreciate you guys having your content on the network, and we'll have some shows from Revelations and Wise today. So excited about that.
Yeah, and we're also excited about the content you provide, NFC Beast, Ari and Daddy, and the forecast as well. That is Ben Southern III, the owner, the manipulator, and the operator of the BS3 Network. Joins us every Friday at 9:05 Eastern, 8:05 Central. Thank you so much for your time. We totally appreciate you, man.
Yeah, appreciate you guys. Have a good one.
You too. That's Ben Southern III again, and joining us is one Mr. Brian Snow, the
What's
man
going on,
known
brother?
as Snowman. What's up, brother?
I appreciate you guys for handling business for me. I had to drop my daughter off at work, then to drop my wife off at work. My wife left her phone in the car, so I had to race back and make sure she had that, so we could stay in touch just in case of any emergency. I don't know what time my daughter's going to get done this morning, so I'm going to do the picks with you guys. I'll do a couple of them, and then I'm going to do some work here in the office, and then I will probably have to take off.
All right, well,
so let's get and good morning to everyone in the chat. Victor Locke, Ryan McCoffey, I know Sam Shady was with us, Tampa Supreme, Rod West, A Pizzle. Did I mention Sig Diggy? I didn't. Now I'll mention now. Sig Diggy, the players, Playmakers blog network, and thank you to everyone that has supported this show. Thank you, Ben Sutterth. Let's get to the picks. And
all right, let's start with
I got too many thank yous, and I'm going to keep saying them. So let's get to the picks.
All right, well, let's start with the Raiders hosting the Chiefs. That is the very first game on the Week 18 slate. KC is favored by 9. I think they're going to probably destroy the Raiders, in my opinion. I will start with you, Brian.
Lay them all.
Wise.
Chiefs, and lay them all.
Yeah, Wise.
Chiefs.
All right. The most important game of the weekend, and yes, I am actually saying this unbiasedly. For the AFC South crown, it is the Titans going to Jacksonville. The Jaguars are favored by 6.5. That game is on ESPN and ABC, 8:50 p.m. kickoff. Who do you have wise?
I'm going with Trevor Lawrence and the Jags.
I agree with that. Mr. Snowman.
Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars. Duval stand up. They'll celebrate the AFC South title. Lay the points.
Man, what a wonderful season that they will have. And the funny thing is, if the Jaguars were to lose this game, and
They
the
still have a way in.
Yes, they still have a way in, because if the Dolphins, Steelers, and Patriots all lose,
and the
Jaguars will be the 7th seed. All right, now to the Sunday slate. Early kickoff, Falcons hosting the Buccaneers. That game, it doesn't matter. The Falcons are favored by 4. I don't really give a crap. So I will advance to the next game, which is the Bills hosting the Patriots.
Bills by 14.
The Bills are favored by 7.
Good.
But
you got my pick right now. Bills by 14.
Why?
They shut the Patriots up.
I'm going with the Bills.
The new America's team, it is no longer the Patriots. It definitely is not the Cowboys. It now is the Bills. It's going to be very difficult to stop that momentum. And I think the Bills are going to win that game. Bears hosting the Vikings. The Vikings need this win to have any chance of the number 1 seed. They already are the NFC North champs. They're favored by 7.5. Who do you have wise?
I don't care.
Okay, fine.
Next.
The Chicago native.
Next.
That should tell you. Wise doesn't care. The Chicago native is like next. The Vikings will find a way to eke out the victory
It's Kirk
and be
Cousins,
bounced,
for God's sakes. Next.
and be bounced out in the wild card. The game that would have decided the AFC North, but it now won't. The Bengals hosting the Ravens. The Bengals are favored by 7.5.
Bengals.
I was going to ask you guys, do you think that they would actually have any type of trauma from the game Monday lingering?
Hell no. They want to hit some people. They want to honor DeMar Hamlin, their brother in the fight. Hell no, they're not going to have any problems. Bengals.
All right. So see, Texas Colts, we'll skip that. Jets Dolphins.
Skip that, please.
What?
Next. I said Jets Dolphins.
Next.
Oh man.
It's important because even though the Jets are eliminated, they can eliminate the Dolphins. But the Dolphins need this game to stay alive.
Scoreless tie. Dolphins get eliminated. Next.
I need the Jets to prove me right, man. They need to win 80 games.
You did say they would win 8, didn't you?
So you got one who's dismissive of the whole game. You got one who's rooting for the Jets, crossing his fingers and everything else. All right, Brian, I know you want to have mutually assured destruction, so I know you root for the Jets. I think the Dolphins will.
My bad, Big Pizzle, but I said 8 games. I gotta win 8 games.
I think the Dolphins.
I think he originally called them to win 11.
Nah.
And then the season started.
Came to senses.
You came to your senses. Did you drink the coffee?
No.
All right. The next slate on 1 p.m. Panthers going to the Saints. We'll skip that. Browns going to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh has a 2.5-point favorite line on them. They need this game to stay alive. The Browns, of course, are eliminated. Who do you have, Snowman?
Steelers win at Heinz Field. And I'll lay the points on this one.
What are the Steelers? 8?
Steelers are 8-8.
8-8? I need them to win so Mike Tomlin can be over 500.
And the thing is, they need the win, and they need the Bills to beat the Patriots and the Jets to beat the Dolphins. And if that happens,
all that can happen. All that can happen.
And that's possible. Yes, all that's possible. So not only would the Steelers have be 9-8, but if the Dolphins and the Patriots lose, they will be in the playoffs.
And good morning to Andrew. I will have a New Jersey Devils logo on my website for you next week. Let's go.
Now for the 4:25 kickoff, Broncos Chargers bump that. Eagles hosting the Giants.
Oh gosh.
Giants.
And the line is the Eagles are favored by 14.
Oh hell no. See now I'm with Giants all the way. Giants gotta win. Now I hope they do start Barkley and they just disrespecting us.
For a very selfish reason, I'm rolling Big Blue.
Yeah. Another 4:25 kickoff. The Cardinals go to Santa Clara. The 49ers are favored by 14. We'll go to the Rams Seahawks. Okay, the Rams. The Rams are.
You won't even let me get a word in edge.
Just
Well,
go
you
ahead,
already
man.
know who
Just
I'm
keep
picking.
moving.
You already
Okay,
know who I'm
so
picking.
all right, so Snowman's picking the Cardinals over the 49ers. There we go.
Yeah,
The-
okay.
I'm gonna pop you.
Thank you. Rams 6.5-point underdogs in Seattle. Seattle needs this game, and they will be looking forward to the Sunday night game and being Lions fans if they were to win it. They are favored by 6.5. Who do you have? Snowman.
Pass. Wise.
Seattle Rams, a bunch of frauds.
Yeah, the
because
Rams
of-
have been
and-
frauds 3 of the
and be-
last 4 years. I'm going
and
with
because
I'm
of that-
going with the Seahawks.
And because of that, I feel for the Lions because yes, I think the Rams are going to tank that too.
Mm-hmm.
Cowboys, Commanders, the guys with the stars.
Hail
Let's
to the
go,
Red-
Point
Commanders.
Hail to the Redskins.
All right, so Major Tutty getting some love. All right,
I can't
And
believe that name either.
I can't believe that name either. And the last game of the year,
Pass.
8 p.m. kickoff, Lions,
wait,
Packers.
No. That's Lions, Packers.
Lions.
So,
If
with
the
what you-
Lions win, I'm playing their fight song on Monday.
So understand that with your picks, if the Lions win, but the Seahawks do, the Lions are eliminated from the playoffs.
It don't matter.
All
The
right.
Packers
Damn it.
lose.
I want anarchy, damn it.
Packers lose.
So that means you have the root for the Rams. Oh, that's sorry. Oh, wow.
I know. I want anarchy, but I can't have it.
There you go, playmaker. Now you have made Snowman sick because he wants anarchy. He has to root for the
and I
Rams. to
can't
beat the
have it.
Seahawks.
And I can't have it. I can't have it either way.
That is the.
I gotta
that's the
send.
picks
I
for
gotta
week
send the
18.
link out here. I want anarchy, but I can't have it. Damn it!
Oh my.
See?
Oh, good Lord.
Whoever made this week 18 schedule was smoking. Well, actually, I will correct my sentence. Whoever made this week 18 schedule didn't realize how much anarchy could happen.
Mhm.
I will say that.
Whoa. So you mean tell me the Jets are throwing this game away, Martin? Joe Flacco's starting it. Oh wow.
Oh God, that game's over.
Yes, that game is over.
Well, you got to think about the alternative. Zach Wilson.
That's
Good point.
All
All right, it is. Yeah, yeah. All right, Mr. Snowman. It is time. Yes, it's time to put away the football fight song.
All right.
And it's time for me to.
I will fade this out, and I'm thankful to someone that sent Base the link because I was running way behind this week. I will step out. I will see y'all on Monday. I love you guys.
Be careful.
I got a lot to do. Thank you guys so much for allowing me to at least do the picks. Base, I love you, brother. I will talk to y'all next week.
All right, man. All right. Well, before I actually do push that button, let's reset real quick. We'll be right back, and right afterwards, we're going to enter the Boom Shakalaka.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
The original Think Drink is back. Level up with proven ingredients formulated to crush your competition. No gimmicks, no jitters, no messing around. Just high potency results that keep you moving day or night. There's a new nerd in town, and we came to play. Nerd Focus, smarter than energy.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like the High Five Strangers guy. Game-winning interception. First down. Just a nice, solid tackle. If you're in arm's length, you will be swapping skin with this extrovert. You see, he knows SeatGeek got him a great deal on tickets, so he can focus on what he does best, smacking palms. SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
This is a BS3 Network presentation. Politics.
They'll write the law, but they'll enforce it differently. Is that going to apply both ways?
Religion.
God never said that we can't reason together. Matter of fact, he said, let us sit and reason together.
Relationship.
I believe that everybody wants and needs somebody.
From a man's perspective.
They say, girls, if I put some polish on that and get him to buy some different clothes, girl, he could be a winner chicken dinner.
Join the thought engineer.
There's nothing wrong with me developing my piece and you developing your piece, but understand the goal is to come together.
And comedian John Yogi.
Negro, I don't need you putting on no chapstick up there in the pulpit. You do that over there in your chair.
Get ready for
Monday.
Live every Monday at 7 p.m. Central.
So this thing called sports, it has fans again. It has full stadiums, full arenas, and more. And you want to be a part of it, don't you? Of course you do. If you begin to scour the resale market, there will be tickets available. And what you need to get those tickets that you want so badly is SeatGeek. SeatGeek is the app available to you that lends a hand in helping you get the tickets that you want for the events that you want. SeatGeek rates the tickets on a 1 to 10 scale, and the best part is the tickets are vetted for authenticity, so you know what you are getting and you know you are not getting scammed. And now you can save even more by using the code Snowman and getting $20 off with your very first purchase. Yes, you can do all of that with the power of SeatGeek, helping you get to the games that you want, so you fans can fan. So let's all fan.
Don't soil this program by putting crap on it. Joe Buck, I cannot take him. I just no dice. I'm glad Carlos Boozer finally took the kiwi off his face. It should be on your shoes, not your face. It's kiwi shoe polish, for God's sake. LeBron should come clean about his age. I wish baby Jesus that I had alcohol in this container, because I need some after watching Screaming A. Smith.
Baby Jesus? Really?
6 pounds, 7 ounces. Go tell 5 of your friends and 8 of your enemies that Chris Bass will be in the air.
And now here's a man who will put a dip to your hip and he will do a groove that'll show make you move. Ladies and gentlemen, the mighty Chris Bass.
Oh, well, thank you, Don Cornelius. I appreciate that.
You recognized it.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, I know Soul Train when I hear it. Anytime I perform. Thank you for the introduction. Much love, of course, to Snowman and the Rain Man, as I call him. Much love, of course, to Cole Johnson, aka the Mad Scientist, and of course to Wise. All Happy New Year, brothers. And how you doing?
New Year, brother.
Happy New Year to you, man.
Yes, the Bronze God is in the building.
The Bronze God.
The Bronze God. I had to sit back and have to hug myself sometimes. So, first and foremost, when you hear news that is good, it makes you feel good.
Yeah.
So, DeMar, continue prayers and thoughts. It doesn't get any better when he wakes up, because his last moments were back on the field on Monday, to ask the question, did we win?
The very first thought.
Right. And for the doctor to respond, yes, DeMar, you won. It doesn't get any better than that.
You won the game of life. I'm like,
Exactly. That's how life is. And as cold as the world can be, when I watch what happened past Monday to the week, we've seen warmth from the world. When human beings stop having labels and titles and just be themselves, we are a great people. And the thoughts and prayers towards DeMar and his family were definitely felt. And so when you get news like that, because I don't know about you, but I think the rest of us obviously were on bated breath. We didn't know what the outcome would be. You're never prepared for bad news. But when it's good news, it's another time to live. You have another time to keep moving forward. And that is the main thing.
Yeah. I 100% agree with you, man. Yeah, for me, I could actually tell you my sports brain froze from about, I'd say, Monday, and we live in the Central Time Zone base. Monday at about 9 p.m. our time to about, I'd say, maybe Thursday morning I mean, and the reason why that was the first I caught wind of DeMar waking up, his family seeing him awake, and him communicating to the medical staff if the Bills won. So I was like, okay, so it looks like he has started his road to recovery on the right foot, and it makes me happy to hear that. And yeah, for the 3 days in between, man, sports wise, my brain was on pause. So I was like, man, I'm all about DeMar Hamlin. That is all that I'm about, and I want to see success happen in his recovery. That was it.
It's amazing how people react, and he had a GoFundMe page, for his charities, and at the time, it went from like something to 4.7 million, and then beyond. After that, it's a damn shame that had to happen to increase the number because of what he went through. But there are no mistakes in life to a degree, so things happen for a reason. And so when we see this unfold, I'm just happy, and I'm very, as an onlooker and a fan, just a fan of life, for him to still be with us is more than all of us should really. I mean, it's a blessing. What more can you say?
You know what it is, Base? Because I know me and you look at life differently because of the circumstances that we're both widowers, so we know how life is so precious.
Right.
So we definitely look at life as we live in the moment. We cherish every moment we have because we know how precious it is to us because of the ones we've lost.
Right.
So when you see a situation like this, and you get that second opportunity, even if he doesn't play football again, just the fact that he has that second chance at life, you have to live it completely now. You have to live it to the fullest. Like, you have to really enjoy life.
Yes. Well, you do. You have a different perspective. Everything changes. Everything changes. And when you wake up something like that, you're a different person to a degree, because you might not have woke up anytime. That could have been in the direction that we have no control over. But the fact that you opened up your eyes and spoke and got a chance to be among the living again, it's beyond cool. So once again, continue recovery, brother. No matter what your circumstances are, playing football or not, you're still here. You have more work to do.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sorry. You want to say something?
All I was going to say was I totally agree with that sentiment, and I was actually going to kick it right back to you and say, all right, so what else is on your mind, sir?
Thank you for that. Now, I segue into the man I'm about to go after, and everybody's got their shots, so I'm going to get mine. Skip Bayless, it's time for you to go.
I roll out the red carpet.
I'm sorry, Base, because we've actually, the new episode of Poppy Jane and Wise, we don't even mention his name. We refuse to mention his name because he's Poppy calls him a pirate. He's a pirate. He takes advantage of the culture. He takes advantage of the fact that he has a platform that he has, and I'm sick and tired of him being okay. It's I'm not cool. I'm not cool with the shit he does.
So Poppy basically, Jay actually calls Skip Bayless a culture vulture.
Yeah, we call him dripless.
All of it is true.
We call him dripless.
Yeah, all of it is true. And the reason why I want to invoke his name, because I want people to realize what they are dealing with. So I'll go on and say his name. I've been aware of Skip Bayless for years because, as I told you guys before, I lived in Chicago. He was a sports writer for the Chicago Tribune. So I would read his column. Then I stopped because I realized what he was typing there was complete nonsense. And then when he got to television, to ESPN, and spewed this nonsense then. And so again, if I had to say, this is way before Stephen A. Smith got into where he is right now. I will watch, I think it was called Cold Pizza at one point.
That's right. That's what it was first called.
Right. And then it evolved into First Take. And so Skip would be across the panel or on the same panel, of course, with other people. And it seemed as though nobody would give it back to him until Stephen A. got there. Now, that's a Stephen A. that I liked at the time because he would give it right back to him and more. Now, having said all that, we've seen what happened in time because had the broadcasting gods had their way, you would have had Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless over at Fox Sports 1.
Right.
That was supposed to be the deal, but they threw the money at Stephen and they got split, and these things happen.
Mhm.
So you get Shannon Sharp. Now to be completely transparent, when Shannon was over at ESPN, he was a hot mess. He has leaped and bounds, got way better.
But he's still a lukewarm mess, though.
Yeah, but still, if you compare the ESPN days to where he is now, Fox Sports 1, it literally is night and day.
You're right. You're right.
So
Yeah,
as a
it is.
broadcaster, when you see things like that, I gotta give credit when credit is due. I'm not a revisionist history person, so I give you credit. And at the same time, you owe this man your career because he brought you over to Fox Sports 1.
Mm-hmm.
And I would give him grief. I'm like, why you keep on kissing his ass? But again, going back to the thing about having him come over with him to Fox Sports 1, not having said all that. Skip is one of those people, like some journalists in sports, who have failed tremendously about being an athlete. Failed tremendously. And so to salvage their ego, they become sports writers, not all, but some.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have the platform to spew what they can never be. And
Good
that
adjective.
is as a sick behavior pattern, but it happens.
Good adjective.
So,
Spew. Yeah.
Exactly. So you can live vicariously to someone and not even give the basic respect, going back to the dynamic between him and Shannon Sharp. As we saw a few weeks ago in December, the whole tight end quarterback thing with Tom Brady, and it was a silly
He would have caught
discussion.
hands. He would have caught hands.
Oh, yes.
He almost caught hands from Shannon on air.
He would have caught hands.
When a person's octave gets really high, when they're upset, when you go from it's like my voice. If I got really if I did that, I'd probably start breaking chandeliers and stuff like that. But when your voice gets high like that, you are about to break bones. It's not only hands wise, it's hands, it's elbows, it's feet, it's knees, it's all types of body parts to destroy this man. Now, to disrespect Shannon Sharp the way he did.
He did.
And then to disrespect DeMar, who is fighting for his life. We had no idea what happened after the hit. And you want to put football first. And then want to backwalk it. And then on Tuesday, as we know, Shannon Sharp did, hey, I ain't showing up for work. I got the flu.
Yeah.
I got the Skip Bayless flu. I can't be around. I don't want to catch it. So I'll take a day off. So Skip is in there by himself. The weak ass apology that wasn't even real that Skip did. He's trying to fake these crocodile tears. All of a sudden it's about DeMar. You can't fake that, dude. I have more respect for you. He just said, I meant what I said and I meant it.
And that's the funny thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
So when Shannon was on the next day,
Wednesday,
yes. Yeah, and he was explaining, why his absence was and his stance on Skip's tweets. That's exactly the stance that Skip took. Basically, I'm not taking it down because I said what I said and I stand on what I said.
Right.
But like you said, 24 hours ago or 24 hours beforehand, the tone was totally different and opposite.
Yes, it was. It was. And so for the fact that Skip goes on Tuesday and gives this sad, bad acting of being compassionate for DeMar was sick. What's sick about it is that you faked it. I don't believe not one word he said that was genuine about DeMar. My grandson, Emery, who is 1 year old now, has a habit now. When he gets upset, he'll stomp his left foot and pull down his pants. I would take that performance over anybody in the world. Oh my gosh. I would.
It sounds like Bryson. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like he gets upset. If his mother and father say so, stomp his left foot. I've seen it on video come out. My family's not in Phoenix, Arizona, and then takes his pants off. Now, thank God he keep his diaper on. I don't want to be like a 1-year-old exhibitionist. So that's great. Keep your diaper on, Doc. We want to see no Frank and Beans at this point. So just keep your diaper on, and you're great. I would take that performance over Skip Bayless or anybody else that's faking the funk any day of the week. Any day of the week. So if I was consulting Shannon Sharp, I would say, you know what, bro, maybe it's time for you to move on. maybe it's time for you to break away, get out of the contract, look at some other options. You want to do your own show or maybe get another partner. As a consultant to him, I would say it's time to leave.
I believe it is that time, and personally, when he got into that tete-a-tete with Skip, and you actually witnessed on air this guy actually disrespecting your legacy and career by basically one being told from some, it didn't matter who it was. It could have been you, Base, it could have been Wise, it could have been Brian, it could have been me. If any of one of us were to have said to a Pro Football Hall of Famer, you're simply jealous because you're seeing a guy who's playing at 45, but you retired at 35, and then go onward to ask a question to a guy who actually has done this for over a decade. So who do you think watches more film, the coaches on the staff or Tom Brady? And I'm thinking to myself, I have never been in an NFL locker room, but I've been in a football locker room, and I can tell you the answer to that is easily the coaches, because one man can't watch more film than the myriad of coaches on a coaching staff. But Mr. Bayless decided to rail against that. And then when Shannon says, look, I have 3 Super Bowls and I'm in the effing Hall of Fame, and to that, all Mr. Bayless had to say was, who cares? Yeah. I'm like,
yeah,
dude, Shannon, you're seeing the disrespect right in front of you. You should exit stage left and put all of your money into Club Shay Shay, because you're doing that on YouTube, and you might as well just try to see if that platform works, because you're not long for this partnership that you have had with Skip Bayless. And I get that he's somewhat loyal to him, but still, you're not long for it.
Right. He would have got his hands.
You're not long for it.
Yeah. He would have got his hands. I'm sorry, but like, you ain't gonna disrespect me. No. Talking about that this man's better. Dude, but I'm better than you.
Right. Any day of the week.
Oh, and Victor, Shannon's won 3. He's won 3.
Super Bowls. Skip Bayless has won 0.
The only thing Skip Bayless has is a toilet bowl. Toilet. Yeah. Come on, man. And again, as you said before about the blatant disrespect, and like I said before, I've seen the episodes of Club Shay Shay. I'm not a fan of the name. That's a whole different conversation.
Oh, I'm not a fan of the name either.
But he does have interesting guests.
He does have, and he makes the guests feel as all of us here as hosts.
And the platform's nice. I like the platform. I just don't like the name. I'm 100% with you.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not cool.
It sounds like a stripper club.
Well, yes. I wouldn't go to stripper club name. I would go to probably a stripper club. You know, that I don't know, Stripper Princess or something like that, or Club Glitter or something like that, or you know, I wouldn't go to a Club Shay Shay. That's just me. The Shay Shay thing kind of throws me off because it's a man. But that's a whole different conversation.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. It's just not kosher for me. That's all. But I've seen his work when he's interviewing the people. As all of us being on this panel, being hosts, interviewing people, you know, is a skill set, and either you learn into it or you get better as you go along and things of that nature. He really makes his guests feel comfortable. They're very open and very comfortable, and that goes a long way. You can't teach that. So if he's able to take Club Shay Shay, I can't believe I'm saying it again, Club S2, and then take it somewhere else where he's able to get a bigger platform, then I think that, again, people appreciate, again, his skill set as an interviewer. Because it's like when you get to the ability of having a guest on your show and people who are listening, it's like they're eavesdropping on a conversation. That's when you know you got it.
Yes.
That's when you know that you've created the art of conversation. So, yeah, I think it's time for him to really just and get out of there.
And it's funny you actually say that. That's my goal when I'm an interviewer. I want it to be when you're actually watching the interview, that you're actually participating in a conversation. You're basically the fly on the wall, and you're hearing 2 people conversing. You're hearing 2 people having a dialogue and an exchange. Right. And you're right. If you are an interviewer and you make the viewer feel that way, then yes, you have done something. In fact, for me, I thought the best interview he ever did was the one with Deion Sanders, because that's exactly what I felt. I felt like I was listening to a conversation between 2 longtime. Of course, they are 2 longtime friends, but it felt like I was looking at a conversation between 2 longtime friends and not an interview. And I agree with you. I mean, you're a master interviewer, Base. and so are you, Wise. And
oh, thank you. I appreciate
yeah,
that.
and that is a skill, and sometimes it's innate, and sometimes it has to be learned, and sometimes it's a combination of both. And I personally think that Shannon does have a future in that. And yeah, I would be for the name to change. But yes,
No,
I
Shannon
think
Sharp
he could
is
do that.
he's a talented man. No one has ever doubted.
Oh yeah,
Listen, he works on his craft. You can tell
does.
he
Yes, he
works
puts
on
in
his
work.
craft. You
Mhm.
can tell that he takes what he's doing serious. That you get these athletes that they're just in it for the bag.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Shannon takes what he does serious.
Yeah.
He goes in prepared. He does what he has to do, and Club Shay Shay is.
Mm. Mm.
He does have some good guests, and
He does have good
and
guests.
he is
He does.
improving on his skills on interviewing these people, and I enjoy watching because it's just like when he does have other athletes or other celebrities on, it's like they're just two friends having a good conversation, and they break it down, and he'll ask questions that you usually won't get
hear.
from a regular interview.
Mhm.
So it's cool, and if he wants to go out that route, I would fully agree with it because it is time for him to separate from Mr. Stripless because
Mhm.
this dude just needs to be canceled. He just really needs to be out. Get like he now he's really wearing Nikes and drip trains and has Little Wayne doing his intro
I
music
know, right?
and all this.
Trying to get street cred.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
been that. He's been doing that.
So yeah,
yeah.
That's why Poppy calls him a pirate, and because he just wants to be a part of the culture so bad, and just stealing our styles.
Well, yeah, I don't mean to be of the age discrimination. The man is 71 years old.
Right.
So you need to be retired. Put on your Depends and go take a crap in the corner and have some rice pudding and just go on and retire and take your teeth out your mouth. Go on and retire, man. You've made your money, you made your bag, and then that's that. And the thing about it is some people in any walk of life sometimes don't know when to exit stage left, like the mad scientist said, or leave the stage. Some people stay too long. And Bayless has stayed too long, but it's not entirely his fault because the networks who hire him don't give him to reprimand him, don't take him off for a week with no pay. They let him say these things.
You're going exactly where I wanted to go.
Yeah, so if you had the freedom to sit there and knock African American athletes or any athlete in general and just have your way, and no one's gonna slap you on the hand, you got free reign. I mean, that's why your ego's so big anyway, because the network backs you up.
And that's why he originally got into it with Jalen Rose, was because Jalen Rose kept was taking to offense the names of certain players.
Yeah,
that Bayless wanted to give these dudes nicknames.
Yeah,
and Jalen called him out on it. Jalen who are you to be calling these players nicknames? Because
he got to the point where he was like, so a guy who was a junior in high school averaged over a point a game. So you have
1.4.
Yeah.
Right.
So
1.4. That's right.
So I guess a person of your skill set has the ability to critique and run down the people that you run down. I was like, wow. Jalen came as if he was trash talking on the court. I'm like, man.
And then, you go through social media because, again, I'm going through all this Skip Bayless episodes where, what it was mostly ESPN. So that became popular, started to recycle, like I said, for the Jalen Rose interview and others.
Mm-hmm.
And so in that timeline, I think it was on YouTube, and Jason Whitlock popped up, and I deleted his ass immediately. I didn't want to hear nothing Jason Whitlock had to say, period. Now, that's another person who has to go back to hell. Really, when I was teaching talk radio at Illinois Media School, and it's mostly sports oriented because they have a sports internet station there at the place at the school, and a lot of guys and gals, mostly guys, want to be sports anchors or sports hosts or whatever. And so, of course, Screaming A. Smith at the top, and I told them, I said, okay, Screaming A. Smith is out there, but he's not the only style. So look at other people's styles before you try to mimic this one. Because a lot of us, again, in the broadcasting, we start off sounding like the people we admire probably in the first 3 years, and we find our own voice.
No question.
So for me, it was a guy named Ty Wansley. This is the guy that got me into radio, the guy that I heard on the radio as a 19-year-old in college. I got a chance to meet him, became my guru, my liege, my mentor, and everything else. So by the time I hit the microphone, I found myself started sounding like him because I loved him and admired him so much. But probably like a year 2, year 3, you hit your own stride and you start sounding like yourself. So having said all that, going back to someone like Skip, who continues to destroy the culture by saying what he says and has no remorse for it. The network backs him up. The thing about it is, karma is real. Karma is real. Now, we don't know what's happening in his own life. He's probably catching all types of holy hell, but the fact remains is you reap what you sow. So as a broadcaster, you take responsibility for what you say. You're responsible for what you say. Going back to Whitlock, I told my students, this is what you should not become. And I would play, we had a TV in our class, and I would show excerpts of this asshole. I'm like, this is the person you don't want to be. And again, I mentioned on the show and other programs before, what did it with me when he used to be on Fox Sports 1, and he was on, again, sitting next to a former NFL player, Lamar Arrington.
Yeah,
and Lamar was making the point, and this bozo says to him, you don't know what you're talking about, with a straight face.
Yeah,
with a straight fat ass face.
Yeah. You
got to be kidding me. Like you said about catching hands. No, man, it's time you get a figure for a leg lock. I got to put your ass to sleep. You're going down, man. Because you can easily take a fat person out. They got fat around their neck. So if you was to, yes, I'm condoning putting somebody to sleep. So you take your arm and you get it up in there like that, and you choke the rolls of fat. Don't choke the neck because they ain't got no neck. They got 3. It's like, no offense, God rest her soul, Esther Roll from Good Times. Esther Rolls looked like she swallowed a stock of pancakes. She had 3 rolls of fat on her neck that stayed there. God bless her soul. The only thing she was missing was butter and then Aunt Jemima syrup. So it looked like she swallowed 3 stacks of pancakes. So if you find someone that got the 3 stacks of pancakes looking in their neck, you grab, if you want to get into, if you're about to, throw hands or tussle or anything else, you take it by the pancake neck and keep squeezing it and you go to sleep. Oh my gosh. You go to sleep. Night.
So he goes from insulting Jason Whitlock to want to choke out Skip Bayless to crapping over Florida Evans. Oh, Lord have mercy.
God love her. I mean, again, you just that's right.
Yes,
that's right. Damn. Yeah, the 3 dams that went down in television history. Yes, all right. But if you get a hold of that 3-roll pancake neck, yeah, that's like it's lights out.
Oh my gosh,
it's lights out.
My man said,
"What?
Ain't nothing you can do about it.
What can I do with you,
not
Lord,
much.
man? Oh my God. Oh man, I condone choking, Lord. Okay,
but if you must, yeah, make sure you remember that. Remember from good old Uncle Bass, if you go choke out a fat person, make sure you got the 3 or 4 roll neck, and you start to squeeze, and it's lights out.
Oh my gosh, Lord.
It has happened. I mean, I like Good Times. I mean, no offense, but it used to get on my nerve as a kid because and even Esther Roll said herself on the side note that the J.J. Walker character was becoming like a buffoon. She was documented in like a 1974 issue of Ebony back in the day in real time while she was doing the show. So when you see these things unfold, I mean, as before, I told you I worked with Jimmy Walker once, and you can't tell me God does not like to laugh at me because that's what happened when I worked with Jimmy Walker one time. I try to produce this talk show.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, I totally agree with the late Esther Roll's opinion of J.J. Evans.
Yes.
Yeah, that it was becoming more and more buffoon, and it did become more buffoonish as the season went on, as he became more the focal point of the show. And of course, that was the reason as to why. Oh gosh.
Well, you know, Jimmy Walker
on the actor's name.
Who was that? On the show or what?
Yeah. James Evans. I can't think of his first name. Amos is his last name. I can't think of his first name.
Oh, John Amos.
John. Thank you.
John.
Yeah, that was the reason why John Amos left the show.
Oh yes.
Yeah. And he left it because like he said the show in the beginning was about the family, and now it's about you want to have this one character get all the shine, and it wasn't that he was a glory hog talking about Jimmy Walker. It wasn't like he was a glory hog. It was just more the focus of the writing seemed to be more toward, well, we got to write stuff more for this character and focus less on the family. And John was seeing that the teeth of the characters were getting taken from them from the writing staff, and he's like, yeah, I got to go.
Well, you know what's amazing about Jimmy Walker was that Jimmy Walker, I mean, I think he became a victim of his own fame because the catchphrase, I think, overrid if he was funny. I mean, I saw him stand up before, it didn't really do anything for me, but when he was back at the comedy club in LA, he had 3 writers. Now help me out with this. He had 3 writers that he hired. David Letterman, Jay Leno, and Byron Allen.
3 pretty decently funny people. Yeah.
Look what happened to all 3 of those guys.
Yeah, all of them rich.
Exactly. what the hell happened to Jimmy Walker?
I have no idea.
Byron Allen is
Byron Allen's trying to buy.
He's a media mogul right now.
Yeah, Byron's a media mogul trying to buy a team. So
right.
So. And then you have Leno and Lellerman who ruled late night for a couple of decades themselves. So yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know because I never found Jimmy Walker hilarious. I never found him hilarious. I never found him funny. I never found him entertaining. And I even mean J.J. Evans. I didn't find entertaining.
When I used to watch Letterman and Jimmy Walker would appear, the first question I would say is why? Why do you have this? Why do you have him on the show? But then I realized when I did the research that he hired him. So that's like giving a nod to the old boss. The old boss going to come around, get some shine. Jimmy Walker, appearing at the Bloody Bucket in New Jersey, October 5th through the 7th, something like that. So he gave him a plug, and that was the reason why he was there to promote his appearances. And so I get all that. Now that I realize that he hired him as a writer for his routines and stuff. Okay, now it makes sense. But back in the day, I didn't know. It was like he was a star of, Good Times. Please welcome to the show, Jimmy Walker. I'm like, what? Is he still alive? And he walk in there, and do the whole. But now I know the backstory. Now it all makes sense.
Oh yeah, he's still alive because you see him on Fox News doing Medicare commercials. So he's still alive.
I've seen those god awful ones.
He does.
And it gets worse. I think he's done 3 versions of it already. So it's like him and William Shatner do these Medicaid commercials.
Yeah.
And so when he gets to Dynamite, my ears bleed, and I hate that part. And it's like, and I was like, Dynamite. I'm like, no, please, Negro, no. Come on, man. And I had to turn the channel, man, because I can't take it.
And when I thought I would not love you more, Base, I love you even more now with your take on Jimmy Walker, because it is exactly how I feel. It's like I see him on the screen. I'm like, okay, just get the Dynamite part out of your mouth so I can just go on, or just get off the screen. Either way,
I put on mute. I start putting on mute. Yeah. Let him do his thing, and then I'll just put off of mute when the commercial's over with. But that hurts. Mm-hmm. That really, and I don't mean Jalen either. I mean that hurts.
But yeah, oh Lord, yeah.
Well, it didn't make any sense. I even as a kid, not knowing the whole dynamic, internally I knew something was wrong. So on television, how come there's always us being extremely rich like the Jeffersons, or extremely
Or
poor
very
like Good
poor.
Times?
Mm-hmm.
There was never a middle ground as far as I can see. And by the time the Cosby Show came along on NBC,
Mm-hmm.
that looked like my family, because my family was middle class, and we had interacted with our grandparents and other relatives and everything like that. So that looked more like my life.
And a little more like mine too. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That was real. So I give them credit for that. But I mean, and again, going back to the Jeffersons, it just got to a point where it became, I wouldn't say buffoonery, but I got tired of George screaming at Wheezy or the whole Florence thing. And again, you can tell which season was which when you see Sherman's hair goes back further. So you know in season 1. So one time I was channel 7, I think it was on BET or something like that, or Inspire, and Jefferson was on. I said, "Oh man, that's season 4." Because his hairline was getting back. So each season, you saw that his hairline go back. Season 1, season 2, season 3, season 4. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that there was 2 indications. One was Sherman Hempstead's hairline, and 2, the Lionels.
That's just like the Darrens in Bewitched. I mean, it was kind of funky. If you like, old television back in the day with Bewitched and Elizabeth Montgomery and everything, and the 2 Darrens, the 2 look. I did not like the second Lionel.
I didn't either.
I didn't. I like Mike Evans. I like the Afro. I like that's the brother I like. But the second one, it was like, okay, so Mike Evans, of course, was the original Lionel from the TV show and spun off from All in the Family, and then of course the Jeffersons. And then he left and then got the second Lionel, and then came back, and then he was like, "I'll replace you from replacing me." He comes back like again. So I'm like, which line are you going to keep?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That.
Good.
And the funny thing is, when Good Times was on air, I was living in the hood, and I still was like, that isn't my family.
Right.
Even then I was like, no, that's not how we get down, and that's not how many of the families I know around me get down.
Well, that's why you mean back in the day when you had those white writers trying to write about Black life, which was again the arguments between Esther Rolle and John Amos, who were accomplished stage actors, who knew their craft, and when they would challenge the writing team, and there you go. I mean, they hated John Amos so much, we'll kill him. Make sure you don't come back. Not even as a ghost.
Nope.
Yeah, and of course, now we were too young. By the time they actually wrote the John Amos off, basically, because it really wasn't they wrote James Evans, they wrote John Amos off.
Correct.
But when we became adults, that's when I started to say, man, that was kind of foul. That was kind of dirty.
Yeah.
How the writing staff did John Amos. I was like, doggone, really?
But to tell the complete story, when the character Florida was on Maude as a maid, she was really middle class because John Amos played I forgot he had a different name. They were married.
Right.
And he was a firefighter.
Right.
On Maude. So why don't you take that trajectory story and then go from there? But no, you uproot them from the suburbs of New York and put them in Cabrini Green in Chicago. I mean, how does that work? I mean, through the magic of writing. I mean, good night, man.
So I guess they thought that all Black people in the 70s were poor, dirt poor, I guess.
Well, look, again, stereotypical stuff. I mean, it's easy. I'm not a writer, but if I had that type of content and just perpetuate the stereotype and people watch, I mean, I've done my job, man. I can still, pay off my mortgage. I can still, still live in the cul-de-sac. I can still pay off my mistress. So everything is groovy. Everything is groovy. Everything's, peaceful.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Everything's gravy, baby. Hey.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I write this show, cash that check, go to Studio 54, snort that coke. Dance on the dance floor. Yeah, we good. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. Knock yourself out.
Oh, Lord. Yeah.
But real quick, let me talk about sitcoms.
Go ahead.
So a lot of these sitcoms were British sitcoms and brought over, of course, to America to Americanize it. So All in the Family, Three's Company,
right?
Even Sanford and Son with Steptoe and Son back
That
over the
is
season,
correct, right.
in Britain. So all these imports have become Americanized and went on to have great hits, going back to Norman Lear. So one of my favorite shows coming up until they keep making these changes was Three's Company. Who would not like? I mean, you're me being a kid watching television, trying to find all types of sex on TV. This is obviously pre-internet, so anything sexy I'm trying to watch. So you got a guy with two girls, I'm there, and I couldn't stand Janet. I think Janet was jealous of Jack and kept C blocking him trying to get with Chrissy.
Probably so.
No, it didn't make any sense. I'm like, look, you can get it too. If you just cooperate.
And the funny part is that era seemed to engender that type of setup.
Yeah.
You know, it seemed they seem to have that freedom where it's like, it don't matter. It seemed to be that back then, but I guess they wanted to make it all wholesome.
Well, you tried. We know you just have the whole thing going on that the sexual innuendos, and it just worked. And as a kid watching it, now I was never into older women, but I would give some to Mrs. Roper because she was hot. Because she always wanted to get with Stanley, but Stanley like, no, I don't want it. Like, dude, she's offering it to you. She's giving it to you. You got easy access. You see that sundress she always wore? She was probably booty butt naked underneath. But booty hole naked underneath that sundress, and that could have been it. That could have been it.
Easy access.
Easy access, baby. Yeah.
So just lift and stick. Good
and
Lord.
lost and turn out.
Lost and turned out. I'm sorry.
There you go. That's all right. It's a good musical reference.
Yeah, that is a good musical reference. Shout out to the Whispers.
Exactly.
Man, I could continue to talk all day with you, man. But unfortunately, we have to wrap this up. So where can the good people find you?
Well, first of all, again, Happy New Year to the brothers and everybody in the comment room. Please enjoy the new year. You're going to make it better than what you had last year. To find me, your best bet is go to facebook.com and type in Chris Bass. That's CHRISB, as in broadcasting, ASE. And again, I hate to say it, it's now like 10,000 Chris Basses. It's not my fault. It ain't my fault. So when you see my likeness in the picture, you know, we could be friends and they could be friends, and we can do this every weekend. And then to find out what my programs are. And always remember to tell 5 of your friends and 8 of your enemies that Chris Bass will be in the air.
It ain't my fault. Did I know that? Oh, sorry, my bad. As always, man, it is an absolute honor and a pleasure, man, to just rock the mic with you. And if you want to have more of this, yes, definitely tune into his Facebook page, Baseline at 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern. And Chris Bass interviews every Wednesday at the same time. And if you want to learn a masterclass in interviewing, watch both of those shows. This man makes the guests feel as though they're important as an interviewer is supposed to do it. Yep. And I am in awe of what this guy does.
Oh, well, thank you so much. And let me give you I'm telling you, your flowers and what you do. The opening for my Chris Bass Salt Bastard holiday party was tremendous. A lot of people came in, and I swear to God, people that were on the show have reached out to me about, man, that was fantastic. Who? And I said, well, the mad scientist Cole Johnson. I was the one who created the opening. And if everything goes right, I might get some connects for you. So look out for that. But it was a very great opening, and thank you so much for doing that.
Oh man, my pleasure. And definitely we'll be in touch on how we can make that lucrative for all parties.
Sounds good. Sounds great. Sounds great.
That's what I'm talking about.
All right, brothers.
All right, man. The Bronze God, the transporter of hookah whores. I'm sorry.
It's the redeemer of.
I'm sorry, the redeemer of hookah whores.
There you go.
And the transporter to Hades. The one, the only, the incomparable, the mighty Chris Bass. I'm sorry about Join us as always, man. Thank you again, bro.
Thank you. Don't soil this program by putting crap on it. Joe Buck, I cannot take him. I just no dice. I'm glad Carlos Boozer finally took the kiwi off his face. It should be on your shoes, not your face. It's kiwi shoe polish, for God's sake. LeBron should come clean about his age. I wish to baby Jesus that I had alcohol in this container because I need some after watching Screaming A. Smith.
Baby Jesus? Really?
6 pounds, 7 ounces. Go tell 5 of your friends and 8 of your enemies that Chris Bass will be in the air.
The beautiful part about that segment is that you never know where it's going to go, but you always know you're going to be entertained no matter what comes out of that man's mouth.
This is true.
But I love them all the same. All right, that will about do it for this episode and this week for Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. I know the Snowman thanks all of you in the Fanatic Feedback Zone, all of you that's listening, all of you that are watching on Facebook, on YouTube, on LinkedIn, and on the BS3 Network on Roku TV. We totally appreciate each and every last one of you. I know I do. I know Wise does as well. And we, as always, impart and say the following. Take care. God bless. Remember to make your next move your best move. And always remember, if your dreams don't scare you, then you'll be taking that big, ugly, fat
All righty then.
and they simply are just not big enough as well. Dream big, do bigger. That's what Wise is doing. That's what I'm doing. And tune in later on this year. You'll see the two of us on the same screen on another platform.
Yes.
We hope you are doing the same thing and dreaming big and doing bigger as well. We're out of here. Have a wonderful weekend. We will see you all Monday as we break down all of Week 18 and the 2022 NFL season, and we look ahead to the playoffs. Until then, for Wise, for Snowman, I am Cole Johnson. That is Cole Sports with the Z. And you might catch an episode later on today. Ooh. Just
interesting.
I'll just throw that out at you. You probably catch an episode of Cole Sports with the Z later on today. Have a good day and have a good weekend, everybody. We'll see you Monday.